it immediately. Kathy, if I am not getting over this, I'll never be happy. Like if I am not getting over this loss of a loved one, or over this loss of a job, or this property, I'll never be happy again. Should we say that? Because we are saying what we're telling people, you're going to grieve forever. It's the intensity, like Maggie said. So if you are saying such a statement, meaning for you have abandoned happiness in life.
Yeah. You are attaching your happiness on something. Like if this does not happen, this will not happen. If I never get over the loss of my father, I will never be happy again. For me, I think as a person, I've experienced that. And I had to wake up the hard way. How did I wake up? I realized that my Father in heaven is not going to want me to be unhappy. I realized that my Father in heaven wants me a very happy person. So I don't think that punishing him by my unhappiness, thinking that he wants me to grieve him so much, that will show that I am honoring him, wasn't going to be adding up for him and neither for me. So it is not good for you to attach your happiness on getting over the loss of your loved ones, because first of all, we have told you you're never going to get over it for forever. The time will come and you will be like, I have washed my hands, I'm never going to think about this person, it is never going to hurt. Who told you? Even after 10 years, my mother still cries about the death of her mother. My mother is in her 60s. Imagine. Yeah. A 60 years old is still crying about the loss of their mother. I think she lost her mother when she had grown, but she still cries about it. So who am I to think that 2 years ago I lost my father, that I'm going to be over it? No, you're not going to be over it. So you cannot attach your happiness on the loss of your loved one, because the people that love us, when they depart, they want to see us happy. They want to see us thrive. And you cannot thrive if you are unhappy and spending time mourning the person that lost, being guilty for being happy. Some people even be guilty when they are there smiling. Why am I smiling when I lost my father? My father is seeing me. I'm not going, I have to cry. And then you make crying intentional. Yet we are telling you make healing intentional.
Yeah.
So for me, I think people should accept that you can be happy throughout the grieving process. It is very possible. With time, the intensity of the pain will reduce.
What a way to honor such a loved one. What a way. I feel like that is really honoring. We are going to take a short break. Please don't go away. Throw in your question. Just a very, very short break. Throw in a question, and when we come back, we want to start with that. But as we go into this break, think about the ways you can honor your loved one. Think about it. Think about the way to honor that job you lost, that now when you get a new one, how can you honor yourself? It's just a short break. We are coming back.
Thank you for staying.
TAS, Touch a Soul. We are an emotional healing and a mentorship organization. We are here to inspire and empower you to have the grace and courage to talk about these painful thoughts, traumatic experiences, and trials we go through in life. We want you to know that you are not alone on this journey of life. We are a shoulder. We care. We listen. And we walk with you through such experiences of life. We are TAS, Touch a Soul. We believe that the journey of life is possible. Olugendo, lusoboka. TAS, Touch a Soul. We are an emotional healing and a mentorship organization. We are here to inspire and empower you to have the grace and courage to talk about these painful thoughts, traumatic experiences, and trials we go through in life. We want you to know that you are not alone on this journey of life. We are a shoulder. We care. We listen. And we walk with you through such experiences of life. We are touch a soul. We believe that the journey of life is possible. Olugendo lusoboka. Touch a soul. We are an emotional healing and a mentorship organization. We are here to inspire and empower you to have the grace and courage to talk about these painful thoughts, traumatic experiences, and trials we go through in life. We want you to know. Thank you so much for keeping on, and we are seeing the messages in the chat bar. Keep sending them. Let's keep learning together. It's unfortunate that you won't be able to open your microphone to talk because of some issues, but use the message bar as much as you can. Just type anything. Someone Dorcas was asking about what's grief.
I defined it.
Yes, what's grief? Awa tried to define it. Thank you so much, Awa. Grief is not just about the loss of a loved one, no. Grief is a reaction to all loss, like any loss of any nature. You grieve. You will grieve. Even people have lost their pets. Our friends in the outside country, losing a pet, they have lost a real loved one, actually. Because those are personal friends. Those are relatives. Those are family members. I remember I have a friend in outside this Uganda who lost a dog, and they cancelled a whole trip to come to Uganda. So, grief is a reaction to loss of any nature, you know. And so, our question here, Inaviona is saying that, hello, thanks for sharing. Though it's just started, I can feel the impact already. Thank you so much. So I would like to kindly inquire, will it be recorded anywhere so that we can share with our friends who have not made it? Don't worry. Yes, YouTube, we are going to throw it there. But guess what? May 14th, just prepare that Kamani. Tickets are already out at 30 and 50,000. At 50,000, your ticket is coming with an emotional healing devotional book. And at 30,000, you have a snack. Even at 50, you have a snack. We are meeting at Grand Global Hotel. Grand Global Hotel around Chikoni here, Makerere. Just save your 30,000 and your 50,000. Tickets are already out. We are going to read the numbers where you can send your money, and the ticket will be right on your phone. Or if you want a physical ticket, you can as well get it. We are going to go deep in grief. And this time when we go in deep in grief on 14th May, we are going to give you a couple that lost a son, but a doctor. You can imagine a doctor who thought that they can treat people, but they lost their child. So their journey has not been easy, and that's what we're going to talk about on 14th May. So if all of you are here, are willing to pay for those tickets, why not? So you'll be able to get physically, you'll be able to see us, and you'll even ask your question, contribute to the day. So the recording will be there, but also we welcome you. Just get your tickets. The contacts, we are going to read them. Yes, thank you so much. Dorcas, Brenda, yes, it will be there. Dorcas, grief is an intense feeling of sorrow, especially after loss. Maggie, thank you so much. Good job, ladies. For those who have just joined, we are on a short break. Thank you so much. Inaviona again is saying that that's really awesome. Thanks. I didn't know about TAS Ministries, and I just landed on the link from a friend's WhatsApp status update, but I'm going to subscribe right away from Discord. Thank you so much. You are in the right place. We create that emotional healing atmosphere for you. So we are back into the gist of the matter. We are still talking about those myths, the mistakes, the things we've told people. God gives and God takes away. I remember when my aunt passed on because of cancer, and someone told the husband like that on the day. I remember the husband almost slapped this man. like I remember him almost slapping this man. Like, yes, and more of a church person, you know, God gives and takes away. And we don't want to blame ourselves for those of us who have made those statements, even us here. Somehow we've made those statements. But we don't want to blame ourselves, because what we want is to make you feel comfortable. We feel like when we talk, we are taking away that pain a bit. Somehow we do it ignorantly. So please find mercy and forgive every person who has ever said such a thing. Find mercy and forgive them. But I want to go to Maggie. Men don't grieve. Women grieve.
More.
It's like we say, men don't feel the pain. And because we usually say, women are emotional beings. But don't you think that has created more harm than good, because we end up not taking care of these men who have lost their children, who have lost their spouses, thinking that for them men are masculine, so they don't grieve. Is that true, really?
Ignorance, Coach Molly. I think I've learned to be okay that someone can not know what to do. But ladies watching us today, I want us to avoid these mistakes we usually let loose out of our ignorance. Men do grieve equally, or even more than women. The thing we have to realize that what is the component of grief here? Because you might think men are masculine. Actually, scientifically, men reason on the intellect level, right? Like they're all mindset, everything. And because women, in a way that we manipulate and blackmail to get what we want using emotions, we usually transfer the same aspect or component to deal with grief with our men. They're the wise one. They know it all. So I mean, why would they call? He has to be strong. Why would they cry? But you guys, in this journey, I thank God for Touch Us All. I think most of our friends who have followed us, they say we are in that timely era where people need this. We have been faced with men who actually cry on our laps. Yes. Some of them are your husbands. Some of them are your brothers. Maybe some of them are fathers. But because we've not allowed them the room to... Just before we came on air, I was just sitting with Coach Molly, and she was asking, Coach Kathy, she was asking, what are we, air it out, what are we really trying to sell out? What are we really trying to tell people today? I was like, we are telling people it's very healthy, and we want to encourage you. You are allowed to express your grief. Because when you block those feelings in, that's how people come out. Because the behavior changes that come with blocked grief, those are the anger outbursts, those are the isolations you get, those are the people you find that they totally get cut off of their social circles. Then you're like, it was only a job, but my husband cannot talk to me. He's all by himself. He cannot eat. Then you add on the same grief. Why? Woman, you aren't wise to read in between the lines. For we walk so much onto the assumption thread. We assume men, because they naturally have the strong arms, the chests are wide. Yes, God created them to cover, but why are you the rib suitable for him? Why are you there in the first place? You are the best person, be it your best friend, be it your brother, be it your husband. You're supposed to understand that male species closest to you. You will know them by their actions. The people you know that, when I see this man acting like this, something is underneath. Don't wait for them to heal. Sit there. Ask. Show them that I'm ready to listen to you. They are so vulnerable. Those men we see running in the skirts of those women, those are the hard things you don't want to listen to our fellow women. Not everyone goes there for the 5 minutes rapid exercise. Some of them actually go there to be listened to. Men will always be where they are given attention, be it in their sorrow, be it in their peak season. But it will be the best moment if you're one name that he will mention when he was at his lowest. So that is a myth. We all get hit, we all get affected. A man invests billions of money and they tell him the ship sank in the ocean. And then the first thing the woman
That you are not.
does, tushonwa abana. You're like, jeez. As in,
At that
no,
point of time.
At that point of time, because no, he's the man of the house, he should know. Really? So take that out of the booklet and always offer that shoulder.
Thank you so much. It's very interesting and takes me to understanding. It's important for us to understand and read the seasons and the times, because it will help you to know what to say and what not to say. Like even when really, they have even chased the children from school, and your spouse comes and tell you, you know what, the old deal is down. At that point, just keep quiet. Just keep quiet. Because the only thing they need is comfort. Because during grief, literally, what we are looking for is closure. Is that, you know, hear that unspoken kindness, by the way. Have you ever experienced the unspoken kindness? The unspoken compassion? Like, Molly is not saying anything in this time,
But I
you
feel
feel it.
Yeah.
And someone can even send you a message and they are thanking you. And you're
for
like,
being around.
what did I say? You know, but because you extended the unspoken kindness, the unspoken compassion, you extended it. It's very, very interesting. And while you were talking, something still came out when you said sleeping around. We cope. People are always coping with pain. We also cope with grief. Now that's an healthy way, you know, because the pain is excruciating. So what you'll be like, if I sleep around, I'll be okay. If I go to the bar and drink, I'm going to be okay. If I do the drugs, I'm going to be okay. We are telling you here that that is
Has
very
to be healthy.
unhealthy. Find healthy ways of coping with grief, with any pain, with trauma, because at the end of the day, you could be finishing your journey of grief, but because you coped wrongly, and they are calling you, I am expecting, I am like many of them are expecting, or you are in debt, you've been drinking a lot, or you went into betting because you thought you will be well. Catherine, I want to talk about the faith, because all of us, we should I say all of us? Yeah, we all know God. Some call him the mountain, the higher power, the word. Like we all have names for God. And when we are going through grief, there is that feeling of like, if I had enough faith, this person wouldn't have died. So the pain that becomes like the pain becomes too much, because you feel like you start blaming yourself. You feel like you didn't pray enough, and you could be here while we are talking and you feel like you didn't do what you're supposed to do. That's why this person passed on. Maybe if I were at home, my child wouldn't have died. I have a workmate who lost a child, but they were not around home. So it's chances are high that you can blame yourself. If I was home, they wouldn't have died, you know. Or maybe that day didn't fast. You know, usually I fast on Sunday, and so your loved one passed on Sunday. So you feel like you've already cast Sunday, because that Sunday you didn't fast. What should we tell people about that?
Yeah, it all starts with a lot of guilt. When someone dies and you cannot help but blame yourself. You're like, okay, this person died within 30 minutes of taking them to hospital. Had I been 20 minutes earlier, we would have saved this person. Or like you said, if I had been home, if I had, imagine you chose a job instead of taking care of your child, yet your husband had told you, bere waka, you take care of these children, and then for you, you're like, no, I am going to work, a maid can take care of these children, and then before you know it, they are calling you that the children are burnt in the house. It starts from there. Someone is like, had I chosen to be a housewife, I would have stopped this. But are you sure that you would have stopped it? Is the question. Are you sure if you had taken your loved one to hospital 20 minutes earlier, you would have stopped the death? Are you sure that it is the lack of faith, the faith that is small in God, that has made your loved one to go? I remember for me, this one, even when I remember, I'm like, oh dear. When the moment my father immediately died, I remember he was put like somewhere when someone has just died. I knelt down to God. I'm like, God, you will have to resurrect this man. Yes, you have resurrected people. So this man is supposed to live.
Sorry, I'm laughing.
Yes, I told God, I'm like, God, this man is supposed to live. This is a legend. How does he die? Who said that my father is supposed to die? Like, for me, that was it. He's not supposed to die. Whatever it is, what other people are supposed to die. But not my loved one. I knelt down and I was like, God, you have to resurrect my father. So imagine the blame that was there when he didn't resurrect. I'm like, okay, I think I don't have so much faith in God. The people who have faith in God, God has resurrected their people. Remember in the Bible, Jesus resurrected very many people. Even in the Old Testament, people were resurrected, but mine is not resurrected. No, that is lack of faith. So I'm like, if I had more faith in God, I would be having my father by my side. He would have woken up, because people have woken up before. But no, it's not your fault. Even if you have a lot of faith in God, even if you are believing that God is going to take you through this, you have to do the work at the end of the day. You will have to go through the process of grieving. Even Jesus grieved. You remember?
Yeah.
When he was going to be crucified, he was like, Father, my Father in heaven.
In anticipatory grief.
Jesus suffered anticipatory grief. He was like, Father, my Father in heaven, if it is possible, this pain, I cannot. You would just help me and it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to happen. But no, it still happened. Do we want to say that there is one of us who has faith that is greater than of Jesus?
He even had to carry 3 of his friends to pray.
I'm simply asking. So I do not think that grieving takes away the fact that you have faith in God. Grieving doesn't take away the fact that you have faith in yourself. No, you have a lot of faith, but this is something that happens to absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
It can happen to anybody, including
Just a
our
matter of
Savior,
time.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much. And while you're talking, that took me to a theory that I believed in so much in my life: surrender. We are in the world that we can't tell that we know the nitty-gritty of everything how the world operates.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mistaken, but in my language, you can use your own language. I've come to realize that the world and everything around is mystical, it is spiritual, it is too divine, it's so uncomprehendable. Like, I can't just wake up and say that I know everything around life, including death. Like, you know? So I think for me, having that theory of mind helps me to just wake up and say, you know what, God, in your godness, you know, when we are going through grief and pain, we disconnect. There is something we call the relationship triangle. God at the top, yourself and other people. So when you are going through that pain, you disconnect from God. You throw the blame. Where were you when this child was dying? Have you ever had someone saying that? Where were you when I was being raped? Where were you when I was losing a job? First of all, I was paying the tithe. I was tithing every month. So where were you, God?
I even give to the poor.
I even give to the poor. So if you didn't recognize everything, meaning you are not there, but the will to surrender and like, Mukama, I don't know these things really. So I surrender. Let me just accept. Give me the courage and the grace to go through this. Maggie, there is something we do. It's so funny. Guys, we are talking about the myth and the mistakes when we are grieving. I lose, God forbid, Mr. Wang, I still want you. Please, God, keep him alive. You lose I lose my loved one. I seem like I've lost my husband. And because you know that we had 2 cars in our compound, I drive my own car, my husband drives his own car. Guess what you do? Mother, now that your husband is gone, maybe can we be using that car?
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Please, and let me take it deeper. The pastors, the religious leaders, sorry, this is not an attack, but I want us to take it in deep, swallow this bitter pill. Someone has just lost their loved ones, their child, and like I'm going to keep welcoming you for the 14th May event at Grand Global Hotel, because you're going to hear this in depth from the horse's mouth. They have lost their child, and guess what? Because you are expecting a boy, and you know they lost a boy, and you're like, Maggie, now that that child is gone, why don't you give us those clothes so that we don't buy?
I know.
Do you know the attachment I had with my child? I'm dealing with, let me tell you, even if it's 3 years down the road, don't ask for those clothes. Don't ask for those belongings. It should be coming from us, the couple, from me who lost a husband, to feel like now it's time for me to give away. There are people who are still wearing the rings of their loved ones, and we nail them saying that they are worshiping the spirits. No, someone is still struggling with the attachment. So what do we have to say about such, not even to say such people, but because of the magnitude of the point, what do we have to say about such a person who wants to come and demand for the belongings and ask for favors from someone grieving, going through grief, really?
You know, even just thinking about it, it stucks. Like it gets my tongue tied with no words to speak. But the audacity human beings have, like,
few words, but
yeah,
many.
there are really few words. But I think this is where we see the outside circle we call friends pushing us. We're already having the normal grief of loss, and then they add the secondary level of grief.
I know.
Like, I'm already grieving, but then the people around or things just intensify on the feeling that I'm going through. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I feel like I might be misunderstood when I leave today's discussion, but we are here to help you navigate, and we are here to help you, particularly in today's discussion, that you understand how to deal with people grieving. When someone is in intense sorrow, it is never ever the right time to make demands.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened to sympathy that people we offer? The Bible says, mourn with those that mourn, share the pain with those that, I mean, all we are called to biblically. It reminds me of the story where Christ was told that Lazarus has died. Even when he knew he was on the way to resurrect him, the Bible said when he reached,
Wept.
Jesus wept.
Yeah.
But you know, we calculative, assertive, self-centered people, we do. You enter the sitting room and like, yeah, this land title. Why would this woman really ask us to pay for tuition for his? I think they can sell this house. The car is worth some money. We're not going to bother with kids, with the house. They can sustain themselves. Yeah. Yeah, I think those clothes, to help her even quicken the grief process, we should just take away the clothes and give them to the brother.
They come and actually even take away the portraits.
They put, like, the woman is grieving, they're asking for the titles of this. Where is the car key for this? What is the name? Where is the will? The demands and the demands. On May 14th, on our physical event, we are not trying to over talk about it, but the couple we are hosting, the wife told us about a story whereby when the time was due, she had a friend who was expecting, and the friend who was expecting, when she realized that she was expecting a boy, she distanced herself from the lady that was grieving, thinking she doesn't want the, what is it called? The
trigger?
Not the trigger, like extending the omen, the curse to be extended. I'm also expecting. No, this is how people come up with theories.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm so sure when you say these words uncalculatively, you know you mean the good. Either when some of us, we warn you, like, I said it for the good. Now what is the use of the car? The lady said that she will never forget how isolated
She felt.
and disconnected she felt. Now imagine when it is your private attachment you have about someone, the clothes, the job, the property, and then someone just comes out. We know you're very good mathematicians. We know as other people are crying, you already tabled everything for their well-being, but for the necessity goodness of allowing people deal properly, please don't mention items. Please don't mention properties. Please don't show how many things you knew in public. Don't mention those things, because you know what you're doing? You're just making the grieving worse for your sister and for your friend.
Thank you so much, Maggie. We would prefer to continue with this discussion, but our time is running. I want to read a message from Evelyn. Evelyn said, "Oh, grief is something that we cannot avoid." Yes, like we said, we are all candidates. Honestly speaking, it's coming 3 weeks that I underwent through some grief. Just know I felt like it was over for me. I cried each passing minute. Friends comforted me and told me to stop crying. That's what we said. Let people cry.
Strong.
You know, be strong. For sure, it was hard for me, but I'm getting it. Sorry, someone is leaving, so it's affect. But I'm trying to come out of it, and what keeps me going is that I believe the future holds something special for me. Yes, Evelyn, keep in that angle. Keep your hope alive. Keep believing that something better is going to come. Because when you're going through grief and that pain, it kind of covers our eyes that we don't think that we'll ever have anything good again, we'll ever enjoy life again, we'll ever be happy again. We feel like we are stuck on what is gone. But guess what? When you become intentional on your journey of healing, you will bounce back and you find your life again. And one way to honor those people, especially the loved ones, is for you to continue pursuing that purpose, knowing, asking in your mind that if my dad was still around, which kind of woman would he want me to be?
Yeah.
For me, that keeps me going. Every time I hit a milestone, I'm like, Dad, wherever you are extremely proud of the woman I am. I want you to give your parting shots because our time is gone. We are going, so let's just try in a way to just give someone some few tips. How, as we conclude? Catherine, over to you.
How to deal with grief or how to go through these stages. For me, I believe that it is very important we accept that we are different, and that is what I started with. We have to accept that there is no formula to grief. Yeah, I don't want to take you to misconceptions, the myths, but I want to tell you that some people will stand still and they are like, you have to follow the process of grief. You will be angry first, and then you will be in denial, you will bargain, or you will now accept. There is a moment you are going to accept today, and tomorrow you are going to disaccept. Does that word exist?
You have created the word in the dictionary. You have created a new word in the dictionary.
You will accept today that now I accept my loss. I lost my child and I'm going to move on. Tomorrow it's going to be a whole other story. So for me, what I think, what has worked for me, like I always tell you that these things, we don't just speak about them. We have been there, we have gone through them. I'm giving you what has worked for me. What has kept me going is the fact that when I look above, when I look at my father, when I remember my father, I know what he wanted for me. I know he wanted me to be a great woman. He always told me, you do not know what you can become, my daughter. Big things await you. Even when I didn't see anything in me, even when I didn't believe in myself, even when I didn't have faith in myself, my father had faith in me. So who am I to deny him that? Who am I to deny myself that? So like you said, every time you achieve small achievements, you're like, Daddy, you're looking? So even me, when I achieve, I'm like, Papa, are you looking at this? Even now, I'm like, are you looking at me? Now, I'm telling you the truth. If my father were alive, he would be on looking at me.
Yeah.
And saying, you know what, and showing everyone around, everyone who cares to see that that is my daughter speaking. That is how much I am making him proud. So for me, that keeps me going, and I'm sure it can keep you going. Your loved ones want you all right.
Honoring.
Keep that in mind. And it takes us to 14th May, right?
Yeah.
We are honoring our loved ones. Those memories, we are turning
treasures.
them into treasures.
They're
So come
treasures.
one, come all.
They are treasures. Those memories are really, they're really good treasures. And I think as I'm winding up, typically what I usually tell people, keep good company.
Yeah.
Keep good company. You know why we say olugendo lusoboka tas? Is because we know together you can share the load. They say problem shared is problem solved. Keep good company. Those I highlight, those who understand what you're going through and won't lay expectations on money these days, or as if everything has an attachment to pay back for. Look for those good friends who would understand and appreciate and cope with what you're dealing with, but leave out those people who will just increase the pressures, increase the burdens. These days, it's very okay to even just switch off your phone, tell a few friends that, no, there's these expectations, but I'm unable to answer, and look out for people. And if you don't have those friends, Coach Molly is here, Coach Catherine is here, Margaret, I'm here. Counselors are there. If it is medical, we know where to relate to you. If it is emotional, we can talk it through, but do not suffer alone. And to our family and friends, because for me, I was dealing with a part where we, people surrounding those that are grieving, what should we do? Do not wait so long for someone to reach out to you. If you see someone in need of your company, of your advice, of your shield, even if to distract them, why not? Life is short. That is one thing that embraces us every day. Keep good company. They'll know how to pray for you, when to pray for you, when to encourage you, places to take you to, things to share with you, how to celebrate the memories of what you've lost. And next thing you know, like I said, the intensity of the pain will reduce. You've been such a lovely audience. If you've missed our Google Meet, you can watch the recorded version of this conversation on our YouTube tab. Don't miss 14th May.
Thank you so much. 14th May is the day at Grand Global Hotel. The tickets are already out. I've sent you a contact, and even these ladies are going to send in a contact. But tickets for physical places, you can come at Cornerstone opposite Protea Hotel. We are going to have the tickets there. You can go at Grand Global Hotels. We are going to place the tickets right there. You can as well call all of us and reach out to us. Go on our Facebook page, Touch a Soul. We are there. Come and we talk about grief. We are going to dine. We are going to eat. These things, this pain, for us, we talk about it, and we are going to eat, and come and get your devotional journey about healing. We love you so much. Thank you so much for being on. It has been a very wonderful audience because we are seeing the messages right here. We love you and see you next time. Bye-bye.
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 Lusoboka. TAS, Touch a Soul. We are an emotional healing and a mentorship organization. We are here to inspire and empower you to have the grace and courage to talk about these painful thoughts, traumatic experiences, and trials we go through in life. We want you to know that you are not alone on this journey of life. We are a shoulder. We care. We listen. And we walk with you through such experiences of life. We are TAS, Touch a Soul. We believe that the journey of life is possible. Olugendo, Lusoboka. TAS, Touch a Soul. We are an emotional healing and a mentorship organization. We are here to inspire and empower you to have the grace and courage to talk about these painful thoughts, traumatic
I don't know,
experiences, and trials
No,
we
I
go
have
through.
the timing.
The mics are on.
Okay.
Okay.
Help me and put my phone on charge. My charger is there.
The yange yeri mu kuwanika.
The charger is there. Thank you.
Change your camera on.
There. That.
This one.
There. Yeah.
So which points didn't we do bannange first?
No, the intro part, 8 minutes. Byonna
Eh.
bye wayogedde mu
Mark,
8 minutes.
akalango otukolera.
Akalango.
Yeah.
Kwanja kukasasulira.
That's a special
Tukasasula
package.
sente nga zingameka.
Let's first finish this.
You introduce her first, then you can decide.
I can?
No, the
What
the
do
way
you
you
mean?
defined, introduction of here, then the way the definition, then you introduce.
Yes, Catherine. Okay.
Then for me, just that, I don't have to
For
talk.
you also, when she
Eh.
introduces you, I think you also.
You say the first point.
Yeah, the first
But
part.
andikide kunzi.
Natandikidde kwani?
It is
Me
okay,
and
you can
Seth.
start with the other, because this is just recorded for YouTube.
Mm.
I need to record that first part.
Naye mwenga ndi mumyufu.
Okay, we.
Point ozijjukira enewe.
Eyasookedde ddala.
Abadde forgetting oba Kathy Ginata. Forgetting so
Where
Mario.
we go, we go.
A minute bannange. Manyi kati emitwe gibadde gidisconnectinze mu bitiibwa. Kathy nakutandikidde ku you will forget time, you will forget. Right? You forget.
Yeah.
Then what else did you talk about?
Chejo, then Maggie
Maggie,
talked.
time. It's time here. Along the way.
Is that the first? Is that all?
Yeah, just that.
Mm-hmm. You tell me. We go. A very warm welcome to our dear viewers. Oh, sorry, can't be them. But then to know them. Come, I'm going to go in home order. Njare
You
noma.
count 3 seconds, then you start looking in this camera.
All right. A very warm welcome to our dear viewers, the listeners, and liberators, emotional liberators. Thank you so much for always waiting in love to hear what Touch Your Soul has for you. My name is Nalunga Molebwanga, an emotional healing coach. What is TAS? TAS is Touch Your Soul, and we create that environment of open sharing, emotional vulnerability. We allow ourselves to speak about the things that we've gone through, the pains and the worries of this life. We talk about them gracefully, without, fear, without too much hunger, but we make sure that the way we talk about them, all of us are in sync and we understand each other. We empower you and tell you that olugendo lusoboka. No matter what you're going through in life, no matter your experiences, no matter the pains of this life you've gone through, we still believe at us that olugendo lw'obulamu lusoboka. And today we are talking about something so beautiful. We are talking about grief. You could be wondering, beautiful? Is grief beautiful? In a way, it is beautiful. Yes, because it's a normal process. You have to go through it when you experience that loss. What is grief? Grief is a reaction to loss. It's a reaction to loss. Loss of any type. Loss of a loved one, loss of a property, a job, an investment, a breakup, a divorce. You have lost something. As long as you are losing something, you will go through grief. But definitely we all know that the pain of losing a loved one is immeasurable, So that's what we are talking about today. There are quite different forms of grief, and we're just going to talk about a few of them. And I'll start with anticipatory grief. Anticipatory grief. When you are told that your loved one has cancer, they have HIV, or they are losing a job, they said the company is downsizing. So in June, I think you will not be able to come back. You start immediately to think about your life, how you're going to navigate through life without that job, without that person, because of the memories, the attachment you have with those people. So you start immediately to think, and guess what? That puts a toll on your mind. That is anticipatory grief. Chronic grief, complicated grief, situational grief. But chronic and complicated is when you can no longer cope up with your daily routines of life. You can no longer wake up. You feel like your purpose is no longer making meaning. You feel meaningless, hopeless in life. You can't go on with anything in life. You actually even make sure that even the things that have stayed, if you lost a child, you no longer want to take care of the ones that are living, you know? That has become complicated that because you go into depression, and before you know it, it's mental illness. But hey, you're not alone on this journey. We are here, and we are reminding you that we are healing in this together. We don't heal in isolation, we heal together. And in studio, I'm with beautiful two ladies, and they're going to talk to us about grief as well. Catherine, over to you. When we talk about the myths and the mistakes of grief, someone says, you will forget, you know, you will forget. You will forget about this thing because you feel like, maybe if I forget, I will not feel the pain. But do we really, really forget about what we've lost?
Manange, people have a lot of misconceptions about grief, but I think this is the biggest. Anyway, before I go into that, allow me to talk about TAS, because Munayo Rugendo Lusoboka is in me. So TAS, we talk about the things that people hardly want to talk about, and grief is one of them. We want you to go authentically through pain. You feel your pain. We want you to have healthier methods of dealing with pain. And one of these pains is grief. So when we go into grief, and the reason as why we are talking about misconceptions, the myth of grief, is because we want you to know when you are dealing with grief in the wrong way, because then it will lead you into a place you do not want to be in. As we want you to take care of your emotions, because if your emotions are taken care of and you're feeling good, you're feeling better, you're able to live a happier life. So people who think that you will forget, or who tell others that you will forget about this loved one that you have lost, that is a very big misconception, because we do not forget our loved ones. When we lose them, we cannot forget them entirely. There will never come a time when you say that I no longer remember this person, or I have forgotten the memories we shared together, or I have forgotten totally everything about them. No, you will keep remembering them forever and forever. But when you give your time, when you give yourself time to grieve, you will not go into the destructive behaviors. Actually, that is the problem. When you tell someone that you will forget about your grief, you will forget about this loved one, they tend to go into destructive behaviors. They tend to numb their pain. And numbing your pain, that is where you see agamba nywa yoko mwenge, oba genda ko mu disco, oba you do this and that behaviors that are not going to help you with your pain, and then you will numb that pain. But what happens thereafter? We have been talking about these things. That is when you start having anger outbursts. Before you know it, your relationships are being affected. So don't try to forget your loved ones. Don't try to numb your pain. Know that you can still remember your loved ones, but in a healthier way. That's why we are here.
Thank you so much. Maggie, over to you, and I know your wing is talking about majorly the caretakers. We the friends when someone is going through that, and we tell people, time will heal. I've been there. Even me, I lost my dad. Yeah, I've been there. I've been on that journey. Time will heal. I have a feeling that time doesn't just heal. There is more to that. So give us something about that.
Thank you, Coach Molly, and we welcome you, our fellow emotional liberators. This is such a very personal topic today, but yes, we touch souls, so we even talk about areas that are ready to be navigated publicly. What a statement. I know it is renowned and usually said in references to many other things that time heals old wounds, time does this, but today, at TAS, we want to correct it. In relation to grief, time will only reduce the intensity of the loss and the pain. I need to repeat that again. I know we read it in grammar. I know it is spoken and heard, but time does not heal grief. as long as we are seated here to share with you on methods and tools on how to deal, and our first segment is all about the myths and mistakes to avoid. Stop going around our dear relatives, family. We are seated on a vigil. Someone is crying. Some people even faint. And then you're like, be strong. Don't cry. Time will heal. I mean, can you really attach that component? How long? What if they come to you after a week and they tell you, I'm still grieving? What if they come to you after 5 years? Learn it today, moving forward. Just tell them, allow grief go through you. With time, the intensity will reduce. If you used to cry for a month under behind closed doors, now you cry for hours. Next time it will be minutes. Next time the pain will hit, but you move through it. So please, our dear beloved family and friends, don't tell people time heals. Tell them the intensity will reduce with time.
We're done.
Tumaze tunayogera bimeka.
Ah.
Naffe tuli ba